I have missed eating with you. It's been so long since we've been together for coffee or tea, for a snack at a gathering in the church hall, or a dinner together with the Cottony Act Theatre Company to follow. I have missed eating with you. I've missed the gathering for worship when we break bread and lift a cup and walk the leftovers around the room so that the youngest do not have to wait. That's a part of our tradition, though, isn't it? Waiting. At TMUC, we wait to eat communion until everyone has been served, and then we eat together. In pre-pandemic days at public worship, there would be servers who would carry small silver trays with small cubes of bread to the ends of the pews where those trays would pass through the congregation so that everyone could take a piece of bread. And those same servers would do the same thing with larger silver trays filled with small cups of grape juice so that everyone could have a cup of juice. And we would say specific, blessing, sacred words. And when everyone had a piece of bread in their hand, we would eat together, and then we would do the same thing with our small cups of juice. We would wait to eat together. We would wait to drink together. And we have seen waiting as a sign of respect and a sign of inclusion, as a sign of togetherness and community. We don't make the very young wait, though. In pre-pandemic days, when TMUC gathered for a Sunday communion worship, Jeff and I shared the table bread with the youngest. They were, of course, still served the communion bread, the common communion bread, but we whispered to them as we gave them a piece from the larger loaf. This is the part for which you don't have to wait. For us, it was a symbol of God's generosity, of God's extravagance and abundance, an echo of Jesus' welcome and embrace of the little children. Here and now, this is for you. You don't have to wait. And at the same time, everyone, including those same children, are served the bread and cup for which we do wait. Waiting unites us. We wait for that moment of sharing together. God's love is not just for us in our solitude. God's love is for us in our community. And we need children to know that. We need our children to know that waiting is important and it is a blessing. In those circumstances, waiting can be a good thing. Waiting reminds us of our connection to the community. Perhaps that has never been so clear as it is right now. We are so anxious to be together, to have this pandemic done and dusted, but it's not. And so we wait. We wait in respect of keeping everyone safe. Waiting for us has been love. But there is a question in our minds, though. How long, oh Lord, how long must we wait? It's a good question. And it is unclear to me how we will discern the answer. The Transcona Memorial Church Council will meet on Wednesday, September the 8th, to discuss that discernment. How do we know when to open for Sunday worship in person? How do we live a gospel of love and welcome? How do we keep people safe? The gospel reading today has Jesus in conflict with the scribes and the Pharisees again. It seems that there is always a conflict, a disagreement between them about how to follow God. In simplest words, the scribes and the Pharisees are all about the details of the law. Follow this rule, follow that rule, and in today's reading, Jesus will not have any of it. Jesus is focused on helping people understand that our call to live love for one another is more important than the details of saying the right words in worship or similar things. He quotes Isaiah with words about honoring God with our lips, but not our hearts. not in how we live our lives. And then when he has finished explaining that to the scribes and the Pharisees, he turns to the crowds with the same message. He says, it's not what's out there that might make us turn away from God. Sadly, it's on us. But so is the other side of that. God's grace is lived out from within us too. The call to follow God is found in here, in our hearts and in our actions that come from here. It's the call to live in love. It's the call to live with open hands and open hearts. So how is love lived today? With masks and vaccines, with closed buildings and online worship, with buildings that are opened for the pre-registered? Is love lived in waiting, or is waiting finished? I hope that you will keep the church council in your prayers as we try to discern God's call. And we hope that you will share your thoughts too. That's how we try to live. All are welcome, all are loved, all are beloved of God. You matter. Your discernment matters. We hope you'll share. May God bless us this day and always. Thanks be to God for the gifts of God's grace and the gifts of God's love. Amen and amen.